Hello, this is Wes Fryer. It is January the 28th, 2016, and this is a presentation for our faculty at Cassidy School as we transition to the new version of Blackbaud. And this is a slightly longer and more detailed presentation than the one that I shared today at our faculty meeting. Before sharing some updates about Blackbaud, I'd just like to share this quotation from George Couros, who is a wonderful principal in Canada, and he says that technology will never replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformative, or can be transformational. And this is a little visual note or sketch note by Sylvia Duckworth, and I just think it's appropriate as we talk about this because sometimes we will focus on technology, and it is really important for us all to remember that it's not technology which is the magic, or which is the mojo and the special set of ingredients that combines to make learning engaging and powerful for students. Technology can really be a powerful part of that equation, but it is not the equation. But hopefully you're going to find in this update with Blackbaud and the things that we'll be learning about Blackbaud in the months ahead and the new version, that it's really going to enable us to do things and do transformative things that we haven't done before. So we're in a big transition of products. Blackbaud purchased Whipple Hill a while back, and they are moving all of their customers, including us, eventually to these new products. And so we are opting not to be the first ones to try this, but to be moving to the new platforms, which have different names. And so today I'm just going to talk about two of these, but you will have probably heard Betty Jane and others, as we talk about the website, talk about OnMessage, which is the content management system that is powering our new website that we're transitioning to in February of 2016. OnRecord, which is the core database that basically holds almost all of our constituent information. So that's student records, student schedules, contact information for parents, all and alumni. There are a few things that development admissions are doing that's separate, but basically OnRecord is our education edge, and it's the core database, but it's more because it's really combining everything together. There's Onboard, which is an enrollment management system that's going to be utilized for next school year, so that parents are going to be able to not only pay online, but have electronic forms. We're going to be able to have notifications for, any kind of field trip permission slip or, other thing that needs to be signed and documented. And then the main thing I'll talk about today is On Campus, which is the learning management system. So On Campus replaces FA Web, and it replaces Net Classroom. And as you're going to see, and you may have already seen, those of you that have come to some of the meetings that we've had, it really is a much more robust and capable platform that will do things that we've been doing before, but it will do a lot more. And those of you who have worked with Education Edge are now, starting with the next school year, with 2016-17, going to be working with the new system that is called OnRecord. So to start off and talk a little bit about timelines, we are going to begin offering some opportunities for training for folks that have administrative roles that are involved in scheduling, and there's a whole host of roles, and I'll be emailing that to our division directors tomorrow, so that some of these roles have been defined, and some of them may be new things within this system. But in February, March, and April, those training opportunities, depending on the role and the hat that you wear, will be made available, and we'll be coming up with that schedule and working with you and with division chairs to be able to find times that will be convenient and work with our schedules. For all faculty, we're going to offer this in both May and August. So if at the end of the year you'd like to go ahead and get a little preview of what On Campus is going to look like and what you're going to be able to do with it, we're going to have that in May, and then we'll also be doing that as part of our back-to-school orientation and meetings that we'll do before school kicks off. The system itself for On Campus, the new learning management system, is going to be online and available in July, and that is our target date. So we're going to be ramping up to get everybody comfortable with the system, and that's our target date to actually have it turned on, so that the features I'm about to talk about, that's when you'll be able to actually use those for your fall 2016 classes. Before going into those details, though, let's talk a little bit about our expectations for faculty, and those are not changing. Now, these can vary by division, but if today you're posting assignment titles to the gradebook, you're putting your grades on, you're into the gradebook online, and you're sharing comments online, all of those expectations are the same. So I'm going to talk about some additional features and some new things, but those are not going to be required in terms of everyone's going to have a discussion group, or someone's going to we're going to have to teach a blended course as we have now. If you would like to go beyond, and many of you do go beyond with different ways that you're using different platforms for your students in class, that is going to continue to be welcomed. And I think you're going to find I think you're going to be very happy with what you find with On Campus in terms of the additional features that it's going to offer for interaction, for assessment, and for being able to learn together, not just face to face, but being able to have students and as well as parents have access to see things digitally and have electronic access. So first thing I'm going to talk about is something that Betty Jane talked about in her presentation today, and that is the responsive layout and the responsive features of our new website. And On Campus, like our main website, will have that. I'll talk about assignment hyperlinks, the messaging options, and then some better comment features that are a part of Blackbaud. So a responsive website is one that automatically adjusts to the size of the screen being used to view it. In sort of the old days, which weren't that long ago, you had a separate mobile website, and actually we've had that kind of a website where you still have another version and it detects your platform, but you have access to fewer features than you would if you were viewing the entire desktop version. There won't be a button on our On Campus, just like on our main website, that says view full version or view desktop version or view mobile version. It's all going to automatically adjust. And you can even get a sense for this when you're viewing these sites on your laptop or your desktop computer, when you just change the size of your browser window and you change it to be kind of skinny like it would be for a tablet or a smartphone. So here's an example screenshot from the Sandbox website, which Blackbaud set up for us. And in this case, we're viewing a class and the schedule we're viewing the schedule and performance link for a particular teacher, and that is showing the schedule that's coming up. And this is the desktop or laptop browser version. So this is the full screen. Notice all the options, my day, classes, the groups that you're a part of, and those could be athletic, they could be academic, they could be clubs, resources that are available, news from school, the calendar of events, which is going to be a really great thing to have so many more filtering options and have it all right here inside of On Campus, and then access directly to directories. So all of those choices are available within this web browser version, like when you're looking at it on a laptop. Now what we're seeing on the left side is essentially a smartphone version. So when you shrink down that window, dragging the bar in the bottom right corner, dragging it over, it is going to automatically adjust. And up in the upper left corner, there is an icon with 3 horizontal bars. And when you tap on that, what the red arrow is pointing to, then you get the screen that you see on the right, where there's a pop-out, but you still have all of those same choices: my day, classes, groups, resources, news, etc. So full access to the same resources, whether you're on a smartphone, tablet, or a full-sized computer. And that is definitely something that we all need, because more and more we are ourselves accessing things through mobile devices, and that's true for our students and our parents as well. The second thing, which I think you're going to really like, is basically enhanced features for formatting and even adding links. So many of you, and this is an important part of how you're sharing your students' work and assignments, are using websites that are outside of FA Web or Net Classroom or something else. And so there are link tools that are built in that allow you to put a direct link into rubrics or student work or descriptions of the assignment or videos or whatever, and that is a real positive for On Classroom. In addition, as you can see here, there's a lot of other features for being able to choose the assigned date that you'd like to have it published, so you don't have to have everything in your course viewable and visible to students and parents immediately. There are some auto-save features in some parts of on campus, which is a bonus. And as you can see on the right sidebar, you can readily add assessments and discussion groups and other kinds of media to an assignment. And the assessments can be self-grading if you, for instance, have it all multiple choice, and that will even go directly into the grade book. So, we're going to continue to have lots of choices about platforms and how we have students interact and things that we use. I really think you're going to like the features of Blackbaud being integrated straight into the gradebook, and that's, as an example, that ability to have a self-grading assessment that immediately goes into the gradebook is pretty slick. And that may not be something everyone uses, but I know that it's going to be something that several of us will use and be excited about. And that is also going to be an important part of this process as we share, what we've learned, what's been successful, what's been challenging. But here's probably the best news of all. This is a very intuitive system. It is certainly a lot more user-friendly and a lot more intuitive as far as using it and being able to work within it. So this is an example of the choices that are available within different classes. You again don't have to use all these features, but I think you're going to be excited about the possibilities of them, and it's going to be great to have us share stories within divisions and even across divisions and departments in terms of what we're finding to be useful and finding to be successful with students. So the third thing that I'll talk about as far as a great new feature is this ability to email readily all the students that are in a particular class and also all the parents in a particular class. Now you can also directly message the individuals, but being able to view this information, view relationships. This is that connection to the on-record core database that I mentioned earlier. It's all tied in together. If you, I think I've got this on the next slide. Look down where it says bulk communication. You can choose students or parents or all. And by simply tapping on one of those links, in this case I think we're going to tap on the students link, then you can compose a message, and that is going to go to all the student members, in this case, of your class. And I want to point out that messaging inside on campus is really advantageous over sending email as we do now outside, just in Gmail, because those messages that we send in on campus are archived with other student records, and those things can be visible to other teachers, and this kind of varies as far as access rights and things, but basically it's a way for us to have that archive of messages, and in some cases they may be visible and viewable to parents. I think it's going to vary as far as the confidentiality and things, but it's all tied to the student record, and so that's going to be beneficial, I think, on multiple fronts for us, and that will be a strong new feature of this on-campus platform for us. The last thing, in terms of a feature that I think you'll be excited about that I'll just share today with on campus, is this ability to paste from Microsoft Word and not have all the weird characters come through, to paste as plain text. So in this example, in this class, we're going to click on Edit beside a progress comment for the student. And then we'll click on this little icon that looks like a clipboard with a black letter T on it, and that is the paste from Microsoft Word. And so I've heard several of you talk about this challenge sometimes when doing comments, that you have to save it as a plain text file or put it into a text editor, because Microsoft Word will have all these extra characters and things will look a little bit weird, and so you want to just paste it as plain text. So anyway, that's just built right in there, and again, that I think is going to be one of many features that will be welcome and be a good improvement over what we've had in the past. So to wrap up, just to share a couple more things, I want to talk about upcoming professional development. We heard Libby talk today about our upcoming February 15th conference, but I want to tell you also that on Saturday, March 15th, we will have the 4th Ed Camp OKC. And an Ed Camp is a relatively new professional development model for educators, but it is a nationwide movement. It's global, but over in England they call them teach meets, and they're set up a little bit different. An Ed Camp is an unconference that usually, and this is what will happen on March 5th at John Marshall High School, there will be a bunch of butcher paper put up on the wall and room numbers on those butcher paper pieces, and then there'll be dividing lines indicating the session. So there'll be 4 sessions, 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, and people will, when the networking begins, simply write up topics inside these squares of things they'd like to talk about. And it seems like it might not work. It seems like, gosh, will this process actually work out? And it does. It does every time, because giving us as teachers that autonomy and freedom to not only self-select our professional development, but even create our own professional development. So if there's a particular topic, whether that's something really specific like mindfulness or, the Revolutionary War or Google Classroom or, whatever kind of topic, it's just open. And the sessions are not presentations. They are designed as conversations, and that is something that will be discussed at the Ed Camp. In addition, there is breakfast and there is lunch, and that's provided by vendors. And there are also opportunities to learn in the STEM playground. That was something we added last year. So there were a bunch of different Sphero robots and makey-makeys and different things that teachers are using in STEM programs and after-school programs. And then one of my favorite parts is called the App Smackdown. And so we'll actually have one of those in Cochrane Library for our conference on February 15th that Michelle and Sandy are leading. I think I'm actually double booked, and so I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it there. But what an App Smackdown is basically a chance to share apps and just take 3 minutes and share an app, and that could be a one used for personal productivity, or it could be one that you're using in the classroom with students. But it's just a great way to become aware of different apps that can be used on iPads or other kinds of tablets and smartphones, and learn how other teachers are using them. So that's kind of a long plug for EdCamp, but I will send a separate email about that. And we actually have a number of EdCamps happening. There's one in Tulsa this Saturday. There's one in Lawton, Oklahoma the next weekend. The following weekend, there's one in Denton, Texas at Texas Women's University, which I'm actually going to attend. And then on March 5th, we'll have one here in Oklahoma City. So there will also be a couple opportunities this summer to do some professional development, and I will be co-leading a STEM Learning Institute June 6th through 8th, and we'll be having that right here at Cassidy, and that'll be available free for any of our faculty at any level that would like to attend. I'm actually going to have an opportunity to present this in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, over spring break. And I've had a chance the last 2 summers to co-lead this with Amy Luffelholtz, who is a STEM teacher out in Yukon that I taught with. And so Amy and I are going to lead this here at Cassidy in June. And in August, when we return, or right before we return, at the time that the TIP orientation is happening, I'll be leading a 3-day iPad media camp, and this is going to be a hands-on opportunity to learn and get practice, with different iPad projects. So we will learn how to create and share narrated slideshows. We'll learn a lot about quick edit video. We'll play with the green screen. We'll learn about, YouTube channels and ways that we can share student work and the options that we have within YouTube. We'll also learn about how to make ebooks and about interactive writing. We'll talk about some platforms like Seesaw, which some of our teachers are already starting to use. But then we'll also talk about platforms for sharing student work and this idea of inside and outside sharing. There are platforms that let us share just within the class and with teachers, but then other things we can share outside so that grandparents and even other classes and other teachers can see the work that we're doing. So that more information, I've got the links here, and that if you're looking at the slides, you can click on. I don't think the video will let you click on it, but you can go just Google iPad Media Camp or go to iPadMediaCamp.com, and on the STEM workshop, the Twitter ID for that is STEM Seeds, And if you have any questions about any of that, please do not hesitate to let me know, and I would love to give you more information, and I will be sharing the registration details for that soon. Registration for EdCamp OKC is available for free right now. So I have created this video version of this presentation using my iPad, and I actually did plug in my earbuds from my iPhone because that can help a little bit with the recording. I don't know if you heard my daughters in the background laughing and some background noise, but the point is it's not extremely difficult to open up a presentation, in this case from a Google slideshow, and I opened that from the Drive app and then chose to open a copy inside Explain Everything. And so this is an app that if you're interested in learning how to use it, please let me know, or let Sandy or Michelle know, someone on our tech team, and we would love to help you learn how to do it, because it definitely is a good thing to be able to make a narrated slideshow like this. We have opportunities like we did today in our faculty meeting to be face-to-face, but that time is always limited, and I would love to help more of our teachers and staff as well, anybody who would like to learn how to make a narrated slideshow like this. You can find this video, I'll be linking it right after I share it, on our IT support website, which is at support.cassidy.org. And finally, we are now going to be using SchoolDude, just like we've been using this year, for maintenance requests. And this doesn't mean you can't email technology, you certainly can, but we would encourage you to just use that tab at the top, where right beside maintenance request, to submit your IT requests. And that's going to help us track those requests, and it'll help you stay informed when things are taking place with your request, and help us just make sure we're getting to everybody's needs and we're not missing anything. And sometimes it can be a little overwhelming with email, and so here, as we transition into this, we'll continue to accept your email, but what we might end up doing in some cases, depending on what the request is actually putting it into SchoolDude. But if you'd like to do that first, that'd be great. And when you select the problem, there are a few different questions depending upon what you select and identify as the problem that it may ask you, or something that it may suggest that you do before you actually submit the request. And sometimes it'll ask you for some information that'll help us too. So if you have any questions, and I am sure you do, I hope that you will not hesitate to contact me, to contact Lauren, to contact any of the members of our technology team, and we would be glad to assist you. And we look forward to not only this transition to Blackbaud, which I think is going to be a real positive in a lot of ways, but also just our continuing growth together as we learn how to use technology tools, as we have more teachers using iPads, as we're learning to mirror content where we can wirelessly share our screens, and be able to more effectively use our technology, not just to deliver that content to students, but I think the most exciting part is when students are creating media and then sharing it and showing what they know with media and using technology. So thanks so much for your attention, and have a great day.